Well, it's month 3 of the Great Mountain heat wave. We're into August, boiling hot during the day, not much cooler at night. It's been an experience. But life goes on, just not as efficiently. I would like to do some cooking videos, but it's just too darn hot. I just don't have, I'm just not in the mood to cook anything, to make anything, to turn the oven on. So maybe in a few weeks, or if we get a break in the heat, which doesn't look like it's going to happen real soon. I have been able to do some of the things I usually do. I've been taking care of my garden, taking care of the plants. Perennial vegetables are doing well. Things like the rhubarb. I've got a wonderful amount of asparagus coming up. They've got that fern-like leaf. I don't think I'll be able to pick them or cut them off for the next year or two, but these were Walmart asparagus that I got the little roots in the winter, and they are doing great. And what else is doing great? All the herbs are doing great. The thornless blackberry is doing great. It's just my annuals which are giving me trouble. I had the one yellow squash, which I shared on the community page, one. Other things are vining, but not much is happening. It has been just crazy. I have seen some bees recently. Busy there. We've had a lot of hornets, a lot of, not as many mosquitoes as we usually have. I don't know what the deal is, but it's just been a very weird and strange period of time. Animals seem more restless. Last night I was woken up in the middle of the night by some really weird loud noise. I wasn't sure what it was. It was some sort of animal. I couldn't even identify it. I looked out the window and it made a bunch of these weird sounds, and then it stopped, and then I fell back asleep, and then there was some sort of fight right outside the bedroom. My bedroom looks out on part of the property, and then I have a deck, a large deck that's about 10 feet off the ground, no steps to the bottom, thank goodness. All I need is everyone coming to visit me up on top. But I leave the door open. I have a screen there, one of those fabric type screens to keep mosquitoes and bugs out. So I heard the fight. Afterwards, outside, there were 2 scuffles. And then after hearing that weird sign and the scuffles, I just closed the door. I know nothing can get up there, but and it's not the first time. A few nights ago, I heard another sort of drama. I have that creek down there, and there's some water still in there, so I guess they're coming to drink. I saw a huge raccoon running across the property, leaving the creek and running towards the forest behind me, and it's just been really a wildlife thing here. My neighbor told me she's had a lot of squirrel activity, and she's again predicting a pretty tough winter. I don't know what to think. The weather reports say it's going to be dry, but it said that 2 years ago when my neighbor mentioned the squirrels, and it was one of the wettest winters we've ever had. So we'll see what happens. There might be squirrel activity. I'm spending a lot of time on the front porch lately because my back porch got a little destabilized by the earthquake we had a few weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago. I'm just not feeling safe on that thing, and I want to get somebody in to fix it, upgrade it, something. So I'm spending more time in the front, and most of the squirrels are in the back. We also have a mountain lion running around up here. My neighbor stopped a week ago. He lives right above me in the mountain, up higher, and he said he saw an 8-foot mountain lion from the nose to the tail, just wandering around. They're looking for water. So that's interesting. I've heard them from time to time over the years. You do not forget that screaming sound, but I haven't heard one in a while. They have been known to cross. I have a road right here between my house and the cabin across the street. There's like an access road, and then there's a forest on one side, and then a sort of a big side of a hill on the other. So they have been known to cross the road right above where my house is and go in the forest right next door. But I haven't heard anything, and maybe they're in there, maybe they're not. But I just don't walk around after a certain hour on the property. Sometimes if I have to, I'll go across the street to the cabin, but I don't know, it's their time then. I've continued doing food bank. On Tuesday and Wednesday I did food bank back to back. One here at the casino near my house, the other one at a little town about 25 minutes away, which is real close to where one of my deliveries are. So those have been very, very hot. We usually get there at 8:30. They're set up, all that stuff. Then the cars start coming through at 9:30, and usually by 11:30 we're done. But it entails a lot of running around. On Tuesday, I had carrots, bagged carrots. So we had 230 units, I guess, or family units come through. So I put 230 bags of carrots in people's cars, running back and forth. We had potatoes, there was the carrots, there were cucumbers, there were apples, there were pears, fish sticks, eggs, some dry goods, onions, I think, a couple other things, a lot of produce. Anyway, I did my deliveries after that, and everyone was satisfied with them. But then there was an extra value. I wanted to bring senior boxes to my clients, to a couple of my clients, but the car was so full of deliveries I couldn't do that. So I thought I'd go to the next food bank on Wednesday, a small town, and get senior boxes for two of the clients who need them. So they had an awesome one on Wednesday. Okay, I went on Tuesday to see, and Wednesday I was at the in the little town. So anyway, on Wednesday they had a really terrific selection. They had milk, they had bread, they had more fish sticks, they had eggs. Those are usually standard, the eggs, dry goods, bunch of produce. So I was able to go through the food line again. So all the clients who got food some of the clients who got food on Tuesday, I was able to bring them more produce and stuff on Wednesday, plus the senior boxes, so they were really happy. They also had granola bars now, I remember, and some popcorn, cheddar cheese popcorn. Usually they don't have that sort of stuff, but they did, so everyone was very happy. It was so hot, and on Wednesday we were short-staffed there, the volunteers. There weren't enough volunteers, but we got it done. I was in charge. I was in charge of carrots on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I was doing bread and traffic. I was the last stop. So putting bread, giving people bread, and you have to, when they stop, you have to make sure they stay stopped, and they don't move until I tell them to move. Because sometimes they'll think maybe you're done, and they'll start going forward, and somebody's still putting food in there. I was taking off the tickets off of somebody's windshield. They have, it's a ticket per family. Sometimes people pick up for other people like I do. And it was a big truck, and I was up there trying to reach the tickets, and he suddenly starts moving forward. And there were people putting stuff in the back, and I had to kind of yell, stop. You just have to stop. I don't think people think, they don't put it together that they can't move their car forward after a certain point because they can't see who's behind them. But I was right in front of this guy. So there is a little bit of risk there. So my job is to stop the cars, and every single car, I told them, you don't move, you don't leave until I tell you to, because we got to close the back trunk. Sometimes people try to leave without closing the back of the car. So I was kind of the school marm today. But my clients were so happy to get 2 days in a row because there was enough difference that it was really wonderful for them. They're very happy. So I was glad to do that, though I did come home and take a 2.5 hour nap. Between the two of them in the heat, I was pretty worn out. So here on the homestead, life goes on. I have this little cabin across the street that I'm trying to get finished. Need a lot of electrical work, so the electricians have been coming in quite a bit, but I'm kind of always in the state of waiting. Right now I called him. He said he might be coming in tomorrow, so I called him to double check because I have to leave town, and whether or not he comes depends on when I come back, if at all. So I'm waiting for that. So that's kind of first priority. They are excellent electricians. I trust them. They're careful, but they're in demand, and I'm kind of remote. But they've made a big effort to get this job done. But as soon as that cabin's done, then I'm going to call somebody in. I have this young couple who come in and repaint and just kind of fine tune everything in there. Then I will furnish it, and I'll give you guys a tour. It's about 480 square feet. It's a second cabin here. I've got a larger cabin. My cabin's maybe 800 to 1,000 square foot. I'm not quite sure because I never got an accurate measurement when I bought the house. I wasn't sure if the measurement they gave me were both cabins or just the one cabin. I don't know. There's some kind of strange math there. But my plan is to do Airbnb there at least for a while, see how that goes. I have someone who can clean, and it's a in-demand area. Airbnb has these 30 days, you can do a 30-day minimum. So I might do that and just get people who are here for an extended period of time, or contract workers or stuff like that. It's a nice place. 480 square feet. It has kind of a kitchen, dining room, living area, and then the second room is a bedroom, and then there is a fairly big bathroom, actually bigger than mine, with a bathtub, shower, and all that. Front porch. So we'll see. Just got to get done. We've had a huge fire sort of east and north of us, the Park Fire. It is over 400,000 acres. I think it's 35% contained at this point, but I get that watch duty that updates whenever something's going on, even though it's not in my county. I ask for notifications for that fire. And they're still doing evacuation. Some areas they've been able to bring people back, and other areas they are evacuating because the fire keeps spreading. So that has been a very scary thing here in California. It's taken over 4 counties. I know people who've been evacuated. I know people who are close to being evacuated. I almost bought a house in one of those counties. I really wanted the house. My friend wasn't willing to sell. So I finally ended up getting this house. And when I was at escrow with this house, he was already ready to sell me the other house, but it all works out. The other house was adorable. I loved it, but this is closer to my family, so it did work out. But and I'm also not evacuated yet, so I think it's okay. I think they've pulled back on the evacuations for that area, and I hope everything's okay. They do such a good job with these fires. Here in the county, we have been pretty good. We've had a lot of smaller fires, and some maybe slightly bigger fires, but people have really been, I guess, walking the straight and narrow with that. We're careful with the weed whacking after 4th of July, all that stuff. There's just been tremendous awareness that police made an example of a couple people who started fires by arresting. I think it's a misdemeanor, but it did send a powerful message and an opportunity to educate, because the fires that can be started by weed whackers can get really, really big. This one that I was just talking about, the Park Fire, that's 400,000 acres, that wasn't even started by a weed whacker. That was some crazy guy who's driving his mother's car, and his mother's car caught on fire, and he shoved it off the road into a ravine, and it started this 400,000 acre fire. So, you know, there's that too. And we're not even in fire season yet. So it's usually maybe August, September, October, things start getting drier. However, people have been really aware and really careful. I've had a couple small ones in the county, but not like it was even a month ago. So that's the news from up here. Pretty soon it will be my 6th anniversary of living up here in the mountains in this house. It has been an absolutely enlightening, crazy, unbelievable. There are no words for the last 6 years on so many levels. Just been a complete surprise. Waiting for the heat wave to pass. Waiting for something to grow in my garden. Waiting to not be as sweaty as I've been for the last couple weeks, months. But it's all good. A nice breeze is starting to come through, which is always welcome. And life is good. I hope life is good for you too. And thank you so much for watching.